I just love getting to play with a new mic. Seriously though, years ago we started seeing a trend in better portable audio, and these options are getting stonking good today. MikMe is a boutique label with some pedigree from one of my all-time favorite studio mic brands, and they've delivered some great solutions in the past. This is the MikMe Pocket, and it's arriving at the right time for folks cutting more mobile video. They sent over a Pocket for me to test drive and share my thoughts. And I'm purposely recording this in some challenging environments. My neighbors are out and about, there are landscapers around in the other yards nearby. I'm trying to record this a little dirty so you can hear what a lavalier can really do out in the field. I am a major audio nerd. That's how I got my start in production, was running location sound and recording voiceover audio. So I'm gonna highlight audio. I'm gonna highlight sound when it comes to something like a walk and talk vlog. The video is kind of shaky, it's not as smooth as it could be, it's definitely not framed as well as I could frame it because I'm shooting off the rear cameras, but you can hear my voice very clearly. And my voice is staying consistent, and that's what's really super cool about having a wireless lav, a lavalier mic that's pinned to your subject, that it's connected to you. Because as you can see, we don't have to deal with camera perspective audio. This isn't the sound coming from the ears on the camera. You can hear me very clearly regardless of how far I get away from the camera. This is a different take than other MikMe mics. It's the same blocky square shape, but there's no mic element in the housing. Instead, there's a mini XLR connector up top that hooks up your favorite lav. There's a lot of functionality packed into a handful of buttons, so the flowchart of operation isn't the most immediately accessible, but learning your way around the operation modes, they start to make sense. Big button to start recording, that's pretty easy, but the big button can also toggle between auto gain and manual volume controls. The Pocket can be a standalone recorder, it can wirelessly send to an iPhone over Bluetooth, or it can be a USB mic for a PC or an Android phone. Like on my Xperia 1 Mark II, it fires up great in the Cinema Pro camera app. You just have to be tethered to a USB cable. It's not wireless over USB. If you're an audio nerd like I am, Bluetooth might make you twitch a bit, but the Pocket also has its own local storage to save a backup of every recording. And an airplane is flying overhead, but I'm gonna keep talking. The iPhone app has options to better control the recorder. There is an Android app in beta right now for audio recordings, but I haven't had a chance to play with that yet. All these different functions though, even plugging in the charge cable can be a bit of a dance. Just plugging it in directly is the charging mode. If you plug it in and then power it on, that fires up mass storage, so you can get the recordings off of the unit. But then if you power it on and then plug in a USB cable, that's how you get this to function as a USB mic. The audio processing internals are solid. Self noise is refreshingly low for a portable recorder, but I kind of freaked out the first time I fired it up because I was still in an auto gain mode, and with no input, the MikMe turned up the gain really high, so I heard a lot of hiss. In actual field operations, it's much quieter. One of my two primary concerns with this shell and this casing do seem to be a little susceptible to handling noise. I'm holding this very steady right now because I think the idea is that this is going to be clipped to a Pocket, and I tend to talk with my hands, so I gesture quite a bit. I have some test recordings where I'm talking and walking and moving around and holding the unit, and there are lots of little clicks and pops just from how aggressively I'm flinging this thing around. The Pocket comes with a solid lav mic in the box, but they also sent over their optional Lavalier Pro. But I'd be honestly hard-pressed to hear substantial differences between the two, which is actually kind of a good thing if you were using these mics in busier environments. Now, MikMe has a frequency chart showing a roll-off starting at around 10K on the standard mic, and that there's more high-end on the Lav Pro. But that's also the hardest range of audio for me to physically hear. More, I would consider the Lav Pro for all the accessories. It's fully stocked for clips and mounts. I've been recording audio for 20 years, and I'm not entirely sure what a few of these are really meant for. Likewise, I also hooked up my Audio Technica Lav, also uses a mini XLR connector, and that sounded great too. The other major hardware concern, MikMe is using a micro USB connector, and I wish this hardware was on USB-C. It would definitely make my cable management tidier when I'm out in the field. Battery life is pretty decent. Expect over 3 hours of recording time and enough storage for about 30 hours of uncompressed WAV files. But recharge time is kinda slow. A fully depleted MikMe can take up to 5 hours to top off. There's no quick charging on tap here, which is in one way is good for the overall health, the longevity of this battery. But if you're working out in the field and your MikMe is running low, that can feel a little claustrophobic. And I want to circle back to the iOS app though for a bit, because this is one of the best control apps I've ever seen. iPhones can shoot video inside the app, and you can sync up to 3 MikMe units to contribute audio to one video project. From there, you can edit tracks in the MikMe app, and you can also pre-apply watermarks, intros, and outros. It's a surprisingly solid way to streamline video production, especially if you're trying to shoot quick walk and talk vlogs. And this one is kind of cute. When you're recording audio standalone, you can also mark your recordings by taking a photo, which is kind of fun. It's really handy to organize clips visually instead of just seeing a list of sequential file names where you might not be sure what string of letters and numbers has the audio that you really need. Okay, so wrapping this up, MikMe Pocket is not a cheap impulse buy. At around €370, this is a robust solution for more prosumer audio production. Well accessorized, and on iOS, delivering a great platform for content creators. It's all about pros and cons. A system like the Rode Wireless Go 2, which I just recently reviewed, that offers up dual transmitters to one receiver, and they also have local backups. But they don't include the lavalier mics in the purchase price, and on a phone, you have to find a way to mount the receiver to plug into the phone, and that might make the use of a motorized gimbal more difficult. On an iPhone, the MikMe is talking directly to the phone, so you don't need any additional hardware. I've heard from a few people in my comments that it's frustrating that I never just declare outright winners and losers, but this is because competition is brilliant in the audio space right now. We have some absolutely fantastic options for mobile recording, and you get to choose between different pros and cons that will better fit your workflow. And I'm always going to be tickled to see a MikMe box show up on my doorstep. So if you're an audio geek like me, I think it's a label you should definitely consider taking for a test drive. I'll of course leave some links down below where you can find more info on the MikMe. Check out the MikMe Pocket. As always, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, subscribing to the channel. Supporting your favorite content creators has never been more critical than it is today, so I greatly appreciate those of you who are. You're checking out the links below, maybe shopping a little merch. That kind of stuff really does help keep production rolling on this channel. You can find a full list of all my affiliates and partnerships on SomeGadgetGuy.com, or you might consider, just maybe, checking out the list of names scrolling by on your screen from my Patreon, patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. This list is basically the coolest collection of tech pals on the internet today. So I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet, at SomeGadgetGuy on the Twitters and the Twitch, and the Facebooks and the Instagrams. And I will catch you all on the next review. Ooh, I can wrap up this video. I can hear some sirens off in the distance. Let's see how it picks up on the mic.